My name is Kainton the Genius, and in this short tutorial I'm going to teach you how to use H2 in-memory database. I'll teach you how to configure it, build application that actually stores data in H2 in-memory database. We are going to be using Spring Tool Suite, and we are going to be using Java programming language. Now, if you know how to use H2, then you are going to save yourself a lot of time of developing an application and testing it as well. Again, I'd like to show you that this tutorial is a step-by-step tutorial with all the steps right here on my website, kindtongenius.com. And I'd like to remind you to subscribe to my channel. You will not miss any updates. So just click on the subscribe button below this video right now and get subscribed. So the first thing we are going to do, I'm just going to save file new, and I'm going to start a new startup project. You can, oh sorry, what is this? So choose file new and then choose startup project. So now you can give it any name. The name, let's just call it H2 demo. Okay, that's the name. And I'm going to just put it in com.Kainton the Genius, and the package is going to become the Kainton the Genius .h2 demo. All right, so at this point, I'm going to say next, leave everything the way they are and just say next. Now I'm going to choose, if you have used frequently some dependencies, because this is where you are going to choose dependencies, you'll see them appear here. If you've not, then you have to type them here. For instance, H2, you are going to see H2 database, select it, and then select Spring Web Starter, and then select Spring Data JPA. So those are the three dependencies you need to select. So that is, at this point, is just step one. All right, so I'm going to say next, and I'm going to say finish. So Spring is going to create this project for us and add all these dependencies we selected. Is going to download them to the pom.xml file and put them in the class path. So the next thing we want to do, let's just create a class that represents the table we want to store. So I'm going to just right click here and say new, and I'm going to say new class. So let's say we want to store list of students. So let me just call it students. I want to put it in a package called models. All right, so I'm going to just say finish. All right, so what we see is the skeleton kind of the class. So I'm going to just increase the font size. To increase the font size, I'm going to just look for general, drop down, and look for editors. And I'm going to say text editors. I'm going to say colors and fonts, and I'm going to just click on this one and say edit. So I'm going to change the font from 12 to 16. Hope it's not too much. Maybe we can try to use 15. I'm going to apply and close. Okay, 15 is fine. So for this to be recognized as an entity, that means for the table to be created for us, we are going to use entity annotation at this point. So let's say the class have ID, name, and department. So private string, private integer, ID, private string, name, and private string department. All right. So now the ID is a primary key, so we are going to annotate it with at ID annotation. All right. So I'm going to just save everything. Control S. Okay, so at ID. So let's see. So I'm going to save. Okay, so this should import the package. So we have from Java Access Persistence, and also this comes from Java Access Persistence. All right. So let me just add a constructor, a public constructor, public students. All right. So this is a constructor with no parameters. Next, I'm going to add the getters and setters after I've added a constructor with all the fields. So I'm going to just say generate constructor using fields. And I'm going to say generate. And finally, I'm going to generate the getters and setters from source. I'm going to say generate getters and setters. Yeah, here. So I'm going to say select everything and just generate. Alright, so now the steps are right here for you in case you miss out anything. The next thing I want to do is to create a repository. Anytime you are working with a model, you also need a repository. So first, let me save. So let me just right click here. I'm going to say new. And the repository has to be an interface because it's kind of connect with the database. So let me create an interface. And I'm going to call it student repository, and it's actually going to be in the repositories package. So just type repositories. So it's going to create this package for you. Student repository. Okay, fine. So this student repository is going to implement CRUD repository. Yeah, so CRUD means create, read, update, and delete. That gives us all the methods to be able to handle data in the database. You are going to specify the name of the class you want to use as a table, and that is student, and the ID field type is integer. So this is what you are going to do here. Annotate this class with @repository annotation. All right, so just save everything. All right. So the next thing we are going to do is to create a service. But before I do that, I'm going to activate the H2 console so that we'll be able to access the H2 console. So I'm going to just I'm going to copy this, or maybe I'm going to just type them out so that you can just see how it works. So go to application properties and just say spring dot h2 dot console h2 dot console dot enable, set it to true, and the next thing you want to do is spring dot data source dot platform. This is not the password. The platform is equal to h2. The next one is spring dot data source dot URL. Now this is where you need to be a bit careful. So it has to be jdbc h2 mem, and then we specify the database name. So let's just call it studentsdb, and finally spring dot jpa dot hibernate. The DDL auto is update. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to run this application so that I'll show you how the H2 console looks like, and you can see that the table student will be created automatically for us. Okay, so let's see. Hopefully everything is fine. All right, so let me just run this application and see. So I'm going to right click and say run as a Spring Boot app. So what we expect is that it is going to run and it's going to tell us how to access the H2 console. So you can see that Tomcat started in port 8080, as you can see right here. All right, so let's see. Let's go to try to access H2 console. To access the H2 console, I'm going to just maximize this page and go to http localhost and then H2 console. So it says, okay, so it's going to run at port 8080. So 8080, I missed that. So let's see. So you can see H2 console comes up. But now we need to change the name of the database. It's not StoreDB. Let's check what the name is. The name of this database, we call it StudentsDB. So I'm going to just copy it and paste it there in the console, or maybe I'll just type it out. Students DB, okay, it shows up. So I'm going to test the connection and you can see it's succeeded. So if I say connect, you see it's connected and you can see the students table was created for us automatically. So you can see nothing is there, ID department, and then if I click on it and run, it selects an empty result set. So this is how to configure and access the H2 console. So in the next part, we continue building this application so that we'll be able to populate this table and then be able to access data from using a REST controller, using a URL. So I'd like to thank you for viewing. I also like to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you've not subscribed by clicking on the subscribe button below. And also feel free to leave me a comment if you have any comment. And we'll see you in the next lesson.